Somebody had a bright idea to place the head gaskets in this bloody thing. 2006 4.8 IS. It's had a lot of work done on it. It's got coil-over suspension. Needs some bigger brakes on it. The rims needed to be tidied up. It's got an aftermarket stereo. Okay, as you can see, all the parts on the back of the bloody thing. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see in there, but the stereo's been properly mounted to sit up. There's normally a sub that goes in the boot. You can take it out. So for weight reduction, I've removed the air compressor and the spare wheel. So there's no compressor, no spare wheel. There's basically nothing under there but the battery. All the stereo products normally go into the wheel well for all the radio, and in this well used to be like DVD player and the tuner and all that sort of stuff. So all that's gone. Extron's head unit, you probably see right up the front there. Get rid of that. Okay, it's just all properly wired in. As you can see, I've got the seats out. This one here is just sitting here flopping around, so I could get a deep clean in the carpets here. Oh, the door panels are really good, Nick. Driver's door, obviously they tend to pull up from here. This one's just jammed in there. It doesn't look too bad, but it definitely needs looking at. All the panels are nice and good. But to do this, to take the heads off when it's not in a shed, you've got no gantry. All you've got is a jack stand and some axle stands on the bloody thing up. That axle stands, the jack's not doing anything at this point. It's just a bit of stability. But if you're going to do this and do it while the engine's in the vehicle, then you're going to have a bit of an issue. I think I'm going to have to drop it down because the extractors down in here are too hard for me to get to because I'm old and decrepit. So it's pretty tight in there. They're custom extractors in there. It's had stainless steel extractors all the way through. Yeah, it sounds pretty mean. But there's a lot of stuff down here you need to sort out. To actually get, there's a bolt down in the corner here, right down the bottom of the top timing cover. There's a bolt right down in there. To be able to get to it, you've got to actually remove some bolts out of here, and down the bottom you've got, I'm pretty sure that's power steering pump there. So you've got to remove the bolts out of there to drop that down. Then you can drop that, and just in there, I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of a gap just in there that you can get to that bolt and pulls that out. So you don't actually have to remove all of that, all of this stuff here. So to remove the Vanos timing wheels, it's pretty complicated. This one here was easy enough. You undo that to take the tension off. There's a tensioner on the top here that pushes down. But before you do all that, you really need to loosen those bolts off. It'll give you a little bit of tension. I haven't done it properly. I think there's a locking thing that goes in here for anybody doing this properly. Me, I'm just a backyard butcher and just doing this on the fly because I don't have an option. So at the moment I'm currently not working, so I've got a bit of time I can throw into it before I, get back into another job. I'm a truck driver, so I'm away a lot, and you can't really get a hell of a lot done. So as you can see, this is all a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to try and figure out where all of that goes yet. I took it off, but the memory's not as good as it used to be, but I figure it'll all just go back together. I've taken a video, so I should know where everything goes at the end. Yeah, so taking these off, undo the bolts first. Undo this, there's the cam tensioner. At the moment I'm stuck with a bolt. This one here is locked in. I need a bolt remover socket so I can actually smack that in and get it undone. Somebody rounded it off. Obviously it's been worked on before, so we'll get these heads off and get some new, get them plain, so maybe bring the compression up a little bit and put new head gaskets on, because I'm pretty sure it was blown out of head gasket and it was getting a little bit of overheating. It was coming out of the bore, obviously, and creating pressure in the water system, so it blew the radiator. There's a new header tank there, because it blew that out as well, put a split in it. So there is a bit of pressure when the pressure builds up. They're coming from these cylinders blowing back into your cooling system. Obviously you've got the coolant transfer pipe running through there that's going to get rid of that. Put a new one in, which means all of this will have to come off the yeah, that's our water pump. I'll replace the timing chains and guides and get new ones in there. It's not a cheap exercise, but it's definitely cheaper doing it yourself, but it's also a lot frustrating. A lot more frustrating. I mean, speak English, how's that? Yeah, and hopefully we can get this bloody thing up and running. Get the lights redone, the paint redone. It's just sitting here wearing out. It's been getting a bit dirty. So I've spent a bloody fortune on this thing so far. Got new timing belts and shit. Some damage to the doors, so I've got a bit of damage down through here. Replace those strips. Send it into a paint shop and get a few nicks and scratches cut out of it, if they can. Otherwise, I'll just get them repainted. But there's no dents, as far as I can tell so far. Might be a couple of little ones that I might be able to get pulled out, but it's pretty straight. It's been tuned. I think it was about $1,500 to get it tuned. It didn't make a lot of difference. Like, you can't get a lot of power out of these things unless you know, forced induction of some kind. I thought about trying to take the inlet manifold off and get it modified so I can get a supercharger on there. But then you're going to have to modify pulleys and stuff like that to be able to get a belt on there. But who knows? Maybe an aftermarket supercharger off a Holden Commodore or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, that's a quick rundown of this bloody project that has me drinking again. Yeah, there she blows. 4.8 IS. Hard to find in Australia, and definitely hard to find parts for, so yeah, it's my baby. And she annoys me. We've had a few domestics over the last couple of days doing these heads, but she tends to beat me. But anyway, there she goes.